What is up, YouTube? The Zelda Duelist is back at you with another YouTube video, and I want to apologise to everyone first, including Jacob. By Jacob, I am referring to Jacob Wizard, the guy who commented on my last video. I did promise this a while back, like 3 weeks ago, and I will apologise now and say I would have got this out 3 weeks ago, but I've been a tiny bit busy trying to fix my microphone. I could not fix it in the end, if you couldn't tell by my voice or it changes at all. It broke and I had to figure out a replacement, and I found something that'll work at least. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm a YouTuber. So anyway, let's get on with this. For this deck profile, the first card we have on screen, it is a branded Blue Eyes list. We have the Blue Eyes Wet Dragon at 1. It's a good erase trio. I'm fine with that personally. 1 Dramaturge. Dramaturge, it's interesting. It's interesting because the fact that I love Dramaturge, it's my favourite, but I don't see how it synergizes well with this deck. Like, I've done test hands, it doesn't synergize well in my opinion. So that'll be one of the cards we remove, and we'll put those in there. I'll put my replacements in here. 2 Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. It's one of the best Blue Eyes supports to come from modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! This makes sense. Triple Keeper. Normally, we just go Albert and just chuck this in. And I'm still tempted to do that. But he is playing the Predaplant package, meaning Keeper is a comic book starter, so I get that. What I would say you should do instead of Keeper, and this isn't an instead, alongside Keeper, is 1 or 2 Alubas. I'd personally go with 2 for this list, but that's me. So that'll be there. 2 Albaz, correct ratio, perfectly fine. 1 Springans kit, yeah, it works, I'll be honest. There's no need to get rid of the kit, it's good for recycling. Triple Edgem Chain. This is a ratio I'm not the keenest on. I get why it works and all, but also it's not something I think it should be a go-to strat. Personally, I put this to 2, personally. And then you have 2 Tri-Brigade Mercuria. It should be 1. Again, it's basic bits there. It's not like a fact that it's basic and the fact that everyone should know this. It's basic because, like, it's not a case of, ooh, this is an interesting tech and we're going to have a long back and forth, like, debate on it. It's just standard ratio bits. It's like a Dramaturge, it's the more debatey bit. It's 2 or 1 Mercuria, that's generally personal preference, but in this little list, I'd say it's 1 with more Blue Eyes than Brandon. 1 Light Hex Sealed. If you're going to play Light Hex Sealed, and it's something I'll get to in a minute, you need to place a good extract monster pair with it. I'm going to tell you this right now. Move that. Oh, where did that go? You there. Move this then. Why are you being annoying to me? Yeah. But I'll tell you this right now. Your fusion of choice in Invoked Mechaba is not the right option in my opinion. We'll get to that later. Darlington Cobra, because you're playing the Predaplant package, so if it's a part of the Predaplant package, we're just going to ignore it. 2 White Sun of the Ancients. This is a great card, but you don't really have a way to utilize it properly. This is because of the fact you don't play a single copy like Foolish, or I guess, yeah, Foolish is the main one. Need Link against Fusion deck, you might still want a way to get this engraved. So for 1-2, you're going to need at least 1 Foolish. What I'd also recommend is Cards of Connaissance, and I'd use 2 of those plus the Foolish. Because Foolish has the extra useful utility in the fact it gets you Tragedy Engrave. So that's something. Again, Tragedy shouldn't be played without Foolish. That should be something that clarified here. And then these 2 part of the Predaplant package. We'll get to Instant Fusion later. 1 Deployment. Without Cartesia, this makes sense. Although I'd actually argue you should cut this flat out. Cartesia. And it's my hot take, you don't need this at Cartesia. Triple Poly. Again, it's personal preference. I'd actually go, yeah, Triple Poly's fine. Alongside Triple Patchwork. I'm a Triple Poly, Triple Patchwork sort of guy. And And I am putting cards in at the same time, so we can all see it happening. Triple Branded Fusion, that makes sense. Then you got some side Ghost Deck and stuff in Dark Ruler, and I personally say makes sense to me. Like, Dark Ruler is a great card for breaking boards, and this format, especially with like Vanquish Soul, it's a big deck, you don't need your fancy schmancy like evenlies as much. You just need to negate their board, then they can't play. And there is a card you can chuck alongside Dark Ruler to ruin their day, and we'll get to him later. Sales Ban, this is interesting because you're not playing any hand traps in this, and that makes sense. You usually call something like Ash, Nibiru, whatever. But if you're gonna do that, you need to make sure you have. I'd actually argue you need, if you're gonna do it, go all in, all or nothing. That's my hot take of the day. Branded in High Spirits. This is interesting. I assume this is how you got your Tragedy and your Whitestone to the grave originally. But for Tragedy, you'd obviously send something like Rindborough, Brogrand, or Sprint. But to send Whitestone to grave, what do you have for that? You have Lubellion, Tyrant Dragon, Mechaba. That's not going to cut it, Chief. I will argue this is a card you just don't need this. Flat out, it's just not needed. Ultimate Fusion, it's a Blue Eyes deck, I'm gonna allow it. It makes sense. Branded Lost, standard, don't need to go about Branded Lost. Skill Drain, Floodgates, fun. In all seriousness though, Skill Drain is a good card, but not for this list. You're very monster effect reliant, so this is just a no-no. You do not need this. Retribution standard. Now, what the final three cards I'd put in this, Ash is a good option. Imperm, not a good option. Personally, this is a personal bit here. That's how I personally feel about this. You're gonna need either the no, you don't need damage. You got lights here, healed, and yeah, I just spoiled the surprise, but hey, two surprises in there. If you're adamant on playing like Dragon, Supelli and whatnot, I recommend just going full on Super Poly 2 and the third Dark Ruler. This just makes logical sense to me. Yeah, now go first and second. Let's go to the extra deck. Let's way forward. No, let's way first. Trivia Overturn, again, if you're going to play Trivia Overturn, play Super Poly. Personally, and this is a personal bit again, I wouldn't play Trivia Overturn end of, but it is a really good card to just kill your opponent with, so I'm going to allow it. No. Just no. I am an Alistair enjoyer. We do not need... If you're not playing Invoke, do not play Mechaba. I get it, it's something you may just have lying around, but don't play Mechaba just because you're the one light sealed. Play Dragoon, for Christ's sake. Makes sense. Tyrant Dragon, yeah, it's your Blue Eyes Fusion, it makes sense. And if I actually go into Edo, and you put in Blue Eyes, and we'll literally just Monster Fusion, there aren't actually that many good ones. This is the only good one. So yeah, this makes sense, you're playing it. Two Mirror Jade, standard, Draxpelia, you're playing the Proton package, makes sense. Two Lubellion, again, I'd argue that's what we should all be doing, that's me personally. Sprint and Brigand though, I'd actually cut one of these, and I am going to go with the Brigand. And what you would replace Brigand with, we'll see we're playing Super Poly. The best Super Polys I get in the game, Mud Dragon. It's mostly due to the fact that Brigand, it's not as helpful as the Mud Dragon is. Sorry, it's not as helpful as Sprint is. If you summon Albaz off Sprint, or you summon Albaz end of, you can then in like end phase because you sent, don't know, like, how are we gonna do it? Or summon Rindborough, you can easily go into Sprint if they're playing something like Cash and they've not got an Xyz on field. As an example. Weird example, but it's an example. This seems fine. It's more something you send to Grave, something like Mirror Jade. But if it were up to me, again, it's another thing to be gone. And personally, again, this is just another personal bit here. You would replace this with. Give me a minute, my brain's just gone. Give me a minute. Second Dragostapelia. It's just something I find more helpful than that. 2 Albion standard. We'll get to you in a minute. Ambulance, that's part of the package. Chimera. Chimeraplegia. We're not playing Duel Links, I'm honest. I get why it's there. You can use it for polymerization stuff, and it's negate, I guess. You don't need this. What you could do, you could obviously play the Grand Greekanol and then play a Cartesian deck, or you do have the Light Hexil fusion here. So if we go back into Blue Eyes fusions, yeah, this is gonna be funny. You can in theory play Twin Dragon for the ultimate anime Garboda. And this is the sort of list I personally would be playing for Brand Blue Eyes. Yeah, I'm gonna show you a test hand with the new list. So save this test hand. Give it a minute. Alright. So with this sort of hand, it's just really good. Obviously, we go Sales Ban and we just call Ash. Because we don't want to get Ash on Brand Fusion. You normal summon the Albert. Go ahead with Albert's effect. Get lost. Now, it's important to get lost with this hand, because if you don't, that's going to be an issue. If you have Aluba, and you get lost, you already have Fusion, get lost. Don't get Retribution, because you need the searches of this to make this even more hyper consistent. Now, you can send Albert here, and you will send. I will personally go for regular old Blue Eyes. And Chainlink 1, so they can't like imperm that, and Chainlink 2 this. Now you'll search your deck for the Tri-Brave Mercuria. Now you'll go in and try and make Lubellion. This is incredibly important here, because this will let you dump your Edgem Chain to the grave, and from there you can make the card we were meant to. This list. Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. Naturally, then you can go further. Fight for Patchwork. And you'll see why we don't do Mirror Jade or Dragostapelia here. So, we put in Dragostapelia yet, because now you have the option to just go Bada Bing, Bada Bop. Now, you could, your choice here. In theory, you could go for both. I personally just prefer to do the safest options here. Make it Dragostapelia like such. You go to end step, and you Albion your Rave. Set to your field the Retribution. Now you get it. And in theory, we could have discarded Whitestone, but if you have a quick look at what we have, you have one quick effect monster negate, unaffected by traps, and like your Blue Eyes boss monster. Negate a special summon, and a hand trap that was searched. That's 3 interruptions, and for a Blue Eyes list, that's not bad. And yeah, that is the video. It's a bit short, I know, but I need to get this out quickly because I did make a promise. Jacob, if you're watching this, and hopefully you are, thank you very much for the list. It's been a pleasure trying to figure out what would work, what wouldn't work. And until the next time. And if anyone else has any other deck lists, do tell me.